Mike, a question for you about the timing of all of this. We know that Trump is going to go in on Tuesday, likely be cuffed, likely get his mugshot, will be given the indictments. They will be unsealed so his team will know. But what is the timeline in terms of actually going to trial and getting a guilty or not guilty verdict? And could this be done before or after 2024?
I think the Democrats are going to try to drag this out as long as they can. They want the cloud over President Trump. I imagine President Trump's lawyers will file a motion on the sufficiency of the indictment because they're not alleging properly alleging a crime here. This is a legal theory that is so bad that Alvin Bragg pushed the prior Manhattan DA to reject this legal theory. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office rejected this legal theory. The Federal Election Commission rejected this legal theory. And then George Soros gave Alvin Bragg $1 million to run for Manhattan DA. And here we are with this bogus, trumped-up charges against President Trump. Unfortunately, we haven't had a Republican governor in New York for a long time. So these judges, both at the state trial court, the state appellate court, and the state Supreme Court, which is the Court of Appeals, are all mostly Democrat appointed. So I don't expect Trump to get a fair hearing either from the Manhattan jury or from any of these judges.
Yeah. Matt, let me ask you this. If Trump was your client, and we saw him last night put out the statement on Truth Social, he obviously, loves to talk to the media. Would you try to tell him, hey, at this point, say your piece, but then stop, let us be the lawyers and you stop engaging? Or would you say, would you recognize that he's going to be Trump and he's going to keep talking to the media and post on social media?
Yeah, well, Sean, I think that's a great question. I think one of the things we're going to see here early on, I guess Mike alluded to it, is this motion practice. There's going to be a motion to transfer venue and a motion to dismiss. There's going to be all types of defense motions, but there's also going to be, I'm expecting a motion from Alvin Bragg to place a gag order and not allow anyone in this case to speak, including Donald Trump. That probably is going to be challenged on First Amendment grounds, but we've seen gag orders in the past in high-profile cases, and that will test, certainly, the former president and his ability to communicate with his supporters and all Americans. But I think that's the biggest battle. But there's going to be many skirmishes between now and the end of this case.
Mike, real quick, I mean, in terms of this being a precedent-setting indictment, we know that there's cases going on in Fulton County, Georgia. We also know that the special counsel is investigating President Trump. Does this case make it more or less likely or harder or easier for those other prosecutors to then bring their own indictments?
Look, all three of these cases are bogus cases by Democrat prosecutors. Alvin Bragg's case is by far the most clownish. This is such a joke of a case that it's going to undermine Jack Smith's prosecution and Fani Willis's prosecution in Fulton County. So for Trump, this is the best case that could come first.